Are you wondering what's giving your competitors the advantage over your business when it comes to creating true efficiency and more money? I'm going to share with you today a very unique framework that only the top property management businesses in the world are using, and this creates true efficiency amongst their team and puts more money in their pocket at the end of the day. So stay with me. I'm Adam Hooley and welcome to my YouTube channel, and welcome to today's session where I'm going to reveal to you the secret framework that only the top property management businesses in the world are using, and this creates true efficiency in their business and puts more money in their pocket. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can follow my YouTube channel and hit the bell notifications so that you get new content as it's coming through. Righto, so let's move into this framework. So this framework is about the synergy of a property management department, and this is really important. So when I go into many businesses, I often ask them, do you have a business plan? Do you have a policies and procedures? Do you have a point of difference? Do you have a mission, vision and value statement? And do you have position descriptions for your team members? Now, I often get ticks in all these 5 areas. But what we're finding is that there is no synergy between these. So what we're going to spend some time looking at today is we're just going to look at these 2 inner circles on this particular synergy chart. The business plan, the point of difference, the policies and procedures manual, the mission, vision and value statement, and the position description. So these things need to work in synergy in each other, and what that means is that you need to pass a baton between each of them, that you're keeping the same theme in this process so that one is supporting the other. So what I often find is when I go into businesses that they have ticked the boxes and they have done these particular 5 things in their businesses, but they're pulling against each other. They're not working in synergy. And what that's doing is creating friction in the business rather than actually creating improved performance. So in actual fact, you could say very loosely, I don't know whether I would endorse this, but you could say very loosely that not having any of these at all, you could potentially be better off as a business. Let's not go that far. That's just endorsing what I'm trying to say here, is that if you don't keep a synergy between these 5 things, is that you're probably creating more friction in your business and they're probably pulling against each other, and that's causing your team a lot of grief. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk through an example today on how these 5 things, or particularly the 4 things in the second outer circle, work together. So let me share that with you now. So this is the example or the sample we're going to go through today. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the mission, vision and value statement. Now obviously in this sample I've just pulled extracts out of all these things so that I didn't bore you with all the details, but in our mission and vision and value, I've picked one that many businesses I work with use, and this is to promote wealth for their clients. Now this is particularly important because if you want to implement on this, then you need to drive this down into your business. There's no point having it part of your mission statement that you're going to help your clients create wealth if you're not endorsing it into the business. So then what you do is to sell that to your clients, you're going to put it into your point of difference. So to help new clients come on board, you're going to say, right, our point of difference is to maximize returns to our investors. So you've got a mission statement that says what you want to do. You've now got a point of difference. Now your point of difference is your promise to your clients, okay? So the promise is we're going to help you maximize your returns. So that's how those first 2 things work together. And then what we're going to do is we're going to introduce a procedure that supports that. Now again, this procedure, we're going to use the lease renewal process. There would be other procedures that help align with this, but I'm just going to pull out one today, and I'm going to pull out the lease renewal process. And also don't forget, this process is obviously a lot bigger than this. I'm just pulling an extract out of it. But to make sure we deliver on maximizing our returns to our investors, we want to start our lease renewal process at 60 days prior to the lease expiry. So what that allows us to do now is it allows us to spend 30 days negotiating a lease with the tenant, and then we can then either lock them into a new lease or we know that they're going to vacate. So then what we need to do is we need to start advertising that property at 30 days prior to the tenant vacating to give us time to find a tenant that's going to move into the property as soon as possible the old tenant's moving out. Now what's that doing? That's maximizing our client's return. If we do what many businesses do, and that is leave the property to go vacate, work the make good, get the property ready for rent, and then start advertising, you potentially have a property that is vacant for 4 to 6 weeks. Now that's not supporting your endorsement of your clients to maximize their returns on their properties. So what we're doing here is we're actually going to start a process where we said, okay, we're going to do the lease renewal process early, so we can have a property on the market 30 days prior to vacate, market that property and have a tenant that moves in literally 3 or 4 days after the previous tenant moves out, okay? And then what we need to do is we need to endorse that into the position description. So the position description is what is the team contributing to this? How do the team action this? So I've used an extract, and there could be very different things, but the example I've used here is that in a position description it says that as the property manager you're required to make sure all leases are renewed prior to 30 days of the lease expiring. Okay, so that's the example we're using. So you can see how these things all now sit together. So your mission, vision, values is to promote wealth for your clients. Your point of difference, which is your promise to your clients, is that we're going to maximize your returns. And the policies and procedure says we're going to start our lease renewal process at 60 days out so that we can get your property marketed early and find a tenant to move in. And then the position description is what the team member has to do. The team member needs to make sure all leases are renewed prior to 30 days of the lease expiry, and those that aren't renewed, we now know they're vacating and we can start marketing those properties. Now that's just part of the process. You'll see on the right hand side of this particular slide here that we need to back this up somehow to make sure we're delivering on it. What if this goes pear-shaped and we don't execute on this? And that's why it's really important to attach a KPI to it. So this particular KPI that I'm going to use in today's example is we want to know the number of properties that are within 30 days of vacating. So this would be the number of vacating tenants where the property is within 30 days of vacating and they're not being advertised. So you may have a secondary backup. Many businesses would put a secondary backup here, and that is we want to know what property is actually for vacant. And that could also be another secondary KPI you put with this. But just for this example, we're going to work with these 5 things. We're going to work with this mission statement, which is to promote value to our clients. The point of difference, maximize returns to our investors. The procedure, which is start the lease renewal process at 60 days out so that the leases are ready and properties can be advertised at 30 days out. And then the position description that says your job as a property manager to make sure all lease renewals are processed 30 days prior to the end of the lease so that we know who's vacating and who's not. And then we're going to back that up with a KPI. So if that process goes pear-shaped, we know we catch it. So if leases fall into that 30 days prior to lease expiry and they're not being marketed, then we know that this process hasn't taken place and we're not executing on our point of difference and our mission, vision and values. So this process is going to create true efficiency in your business. Now, I don't want to throw a percentage at it, but it could be 20 to 30% more efficiency in your business. Now, what that means is that your team can manage more properties and that's going to put more money in your pocket. Now, as I said, there's only a very few select businesses that are using this particular synergy process to make sure they maximize the efficiency of their team members. Right, so thanks for joining me today, and you can get a download of this, so just click the comments and you can download a copy of this, plus I'll put a position description in there as well to help you work through this process. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and then click on the bell to make sure you get notifications of all my up and coming videos. I'm Adam Hooley. Good luck in building out your high performing team. Talk again soon.